Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College Cup presented by Northwestern Mutual. Semifinal number 1 ready to get underway between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Julie, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Mountaineers.
4-3-3 for West Virginia, 4 on that back line for West Virginia, all Canadians, and then their offensive threat up top, Michaela Abam, of course, with their 11 goals this year, leads the team.
That's a great name for a goal scorer, by the way. Bam! Nikki Izzo-Brown, what a career for her, getting her team first time ever to the Women's College Cup, her 21st year in Morgantown. For the North Carolina Tar Heels, here's how Anson Dorrance's group will line up.
And they're going to line up in their familiar 3-4-3. Hannah Gardner, a starter, and scored the game winner when they won back in 2012. Only one of 2 on this team to be part of that national title running team.
And that was national title number 21 for Anson Dorrance. Just an incredible number, incredible history for the Tar Heels at the College Cup. And we are underway from San Jose. Pressure in the name of the game for the Tar Heels, and they look to put it on early. North Carolina wearing that signature powder blue. West Virginia all in gold for their first ever NCAA College Cup appearance. A couple things you look for early here, Julie, in this matchup as North Carolina has the ball. Not a great touch there, but West Virginia get away with it. So for West Virginia, their play to success, Julie.
A couple of keys offensively and defensively for them. One for West Virginia, they're going to try and open up UNC out wide. They love to find those flanks with their speed. And defensively, they know that UNC likes to take on, so they want to make sure that they're defending collectively. A lot of pressure and cover, and they're not isolated against UNC.
That's planning for success for West Virginia by Northwestern Mutual. Quite a year for the Mountaineers. School record 22 wins, just 1 loss on the season. That's Heather Calliohe, who's under some pressure, turns it over to the Tar Heels. And Julie, the Tar Heels planning for success.
Well, the first offensive one Anson Dorrance told us was prayer. And then he laughed and said, actually, it's to avoid Buchanan. We're going to serve and stay away from her play out wide. And defensively, it's what has always been the tradition of North Carolina. They fight, they press, they constantly put high pressure. You're going to see a lot of numbers thrown at West Virginia defensively. They get numbers around the ball and quickly.
So once again, that's planning for success by Northwestern Mutual. Maya Worth, who's moved up into that attack for the Tar Heels, number 5. And you mentioned the word in your planning for success keys there, Julie, fight for the Tar Heels. And that was a change Anson Dorrance made early in the season to really focus on that early.
He said in that early game in September against University of Southern California, actually, we lost 3-0, could have been 6-0 easy, and he said, I realized I needed to get my street fighters out there, which is a big thing, as many people are familiar with Anson. So he switched that lineup around. It's one of the reasons you don't see a player we talked about the entire Open, Maddie Schultz, freshman who's been scoring a lot of game winners. She'll come in 15 minutes in about usually, tries to wear them down first with his fighters and then bring in the more technical players.
West Virginia will get the first shot of the match off the foot of the Canadian international Ashley Lawrence. You talk about Maddie Schultz being on the bench, and the bench is something that Anson Dorrance uses quite a bit for this North Carolina team. They are not afraid to sub 17 players averaging 30-plus minutes. What do you tell us? It's the most shared playing time he's ever had.
And this is for a coach that has done this for 38 years. And so for him to say that, he's running, looks like a hockey line when he's running them in there sometimes. He's getting so many players in there. But it's a hard thing for teams to deal with because it's constantly pressure and fresh legs.
Both of these teams talked about really having a lot of intensity coming out early. So these first 15 minutes could be key. foul by North Carolina is going to give up a free kick to the Mountaineers. Darcy McFarland, veteran captain, in the midfield for North Carolina. Carla Portillo, junior from Ontario, one of those 7 Canadians for the Mountaineers, standing over the ball. You showed Kadisha Buchanan's goal-scoring talents in the open, and the center back will come up as a target on set pieces like this. Portillo's ball right into the fray, headed down initially by North Carolina.
A little bit unlucky there for Buchanan, as you were saying, Jen. Took a little bit of a slip, but found a gap there in that box.
She quickly recovers to get back defensively. But look at the pressure the Tar Heels put on. That's Abby Alinsky, one of the street fighters for Anson Dorrance, making her presence felt early. And now we may have a card from our referee, Karen Apt.
That's a clean tackle there.
Maybe some extracurriculars after the initial contact.
Maybe for something that was said, as you pointed out, because it surely was. Looked to be a clean tackle there. But that's an area West Virginia and of course North Carolina is very aware of. Buchanan likes to play out from that center back position. And sometimes she can get caught with the ball. And that's something that North Carolina will talk about constantly, because those 3 forwards for UNC traditionally have always pressed. They take great pride in that front line starting their defense.
Let's go, guys!
So the yellow on Buchanan, the ensuing free kick coming for North Carolina. This is Annie Kingman, junior assist leader for the Tar Heels, plays it short. Now the ball sent across, and Riley Foster, the freshman goalkeeper for the Mountaineers, will scoop it up.
And this is the pace you want to whip that ball in. Just no one on that front side of the defender. North Carolina's got to get someone on that near post if they're running that play.
And you know, as tight as the margins are when you get to a College Cup, set pieces so often can be one of the X factors. There's some more pressure on Buchanan. This time it'll be a foul whistled against Worth and North Carolina.
You can see one of the tactics, though, that UNC is taking early on. If you're going to play from the back,
you better be ready.
Yeah, buyer beware.
Mountaineers couldn't hang on to it. Here comes North Carolina. Lose it out of bounds.
Good early look at Megan Buckingham for the Tar Heels, outside left midfielder that will spend a lot of time flying down that flank for North Carolina today.
And a tough collision there. Hannah Gardner, number 71, taking the brunt of it.
And you know, you always think when a team is in its first College Cup, how are those first 10 minutes going to be? Against especially a team like North Carolina with all this history and tradition and confidence. And for West Virginia, they're coming out fighting, and that's a perfect example of them making a statement of, okay, we're going to come. We know you're going to fight and battle, and you're sending your street fighters for the first 15 minutes, North Carolina, but we're going to do the same. Little message, perhaps, from a BAM.
And the senior captain down for the Tar Heels. It's a look at what this North Carolina team has done this season. We mentioned all that history, but this is their first College Cup appearance since 2012.
And for most teams, it'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. But not for North Carolina. You're like, what? They've only been twice in 7 years. What is wrong with them? And that is the standard that Anson has set at this program. It is remarkable when you think about it. 21 national titles. The next team in line is Notre Dame with only 3 national titles. That is how good they have been for so long.
Gardner was a member of that national championship team back in 2012, along with goalkeeper Lindsey Harris, who redshirted the season, but Gardner, a big part of it, actually had the game-winning goal in the national championship game. She's come to the side to get some blood cleaned up, so at the moment the Tar Heels will play a man down. Tar Heels looking to get it up to that front line, and Worth trying to get around Buchanan. Goes back to North Carolina. That's Castleberry. Cannot get her service across. Now Kingman. This West Virginia defense has been tough for anybody to break down all season long. Abam passes it off to Portillo. The Mountaineers trying to keep some possession, but not a good touch that time. Gardner has returned to the field for North Carolina. That's a good sign. Portillo trying to find some space. Does so. Leading ball. Gardner had just come back in, has to go down to the ground, and then it's cleared away by Julia Ashley. The speed of Shania Gordon over there.
And this is what West Virginia has wanted to do. They want to get in line with Gordon with her pace. She does very well to send Gardner to the ground, but has to find a better seam in there when she's got the space like that. And 2 players you saw that started this play for West Virginia, Portillo and Ashley Lawrence. They're the attacking center mids for West Virginia, and they're only playing with that triangle in the middle. And those are 2 more Canadians. We've talked about their back 4 being all Canadian, their goalkeeper, Foster, being all Canadian, and then they have the 2 attacking center mids as well. You have 7 starters on this West Virginia team who are Canadians, and not just Canadians who have played with youth national teams. Buchanan and Lawrence both have played with the Women's World Cup, with the Olympics, bronze medalists from both in the last 2 years.
Here's what you're talking about with that Canadian connection for West Virginia, and Lawrence and Buchanan, the first West Virginia players ever to have competed in a World Cup and an Olympics while also being enrolled at West Virginia.
And Foster and St. George just getting back from the under-20 Women's World Cup last week.
Yeah, that's something that Nikki Izzo-Brown has really had to balance throughout this season, and she said she planned on it from last spring. She knew she was going to be in this position. She was without Lawrence and Buchanan for the first couple of games of the season, and then, as you said, losing those U20 players for really their entire postseason run until the last match.
And wasn't even sure, of course, if she was going to get them back. If Canada had made a run in the under-20s, they did not do very well. Didn't get out of their group, and so she got them back here for the postseason College Cup.
Amandine Pierre-Louis out of Quebec, looking for Lawrence, who has streaked over on to this side for West Virginia. Abam. Not a lot of space to be found, at least not so far for either team. Pierre-Louis, player converted to defense this season for West Virginia. This ball will go all the way back to Foster. Going to elect to have Buchanan play it out of the back, as she does. Get to Lawrence. Tough tackle on Buchanan. I have a feeling she and Worth are going to be having quite a number of encounters as this match goes on.
I do think, though, Buchanan has to be careful because they're clearly looking, North Carolina looking every time she touches it. Worth or another forward or 2 or 3 players are on her, trying to get her and pick her pocket there, knowing she's going to take another touch, maybe try and beat a player.
And she's got to be careful also thinking about now she's playing on a yellow. Imagine how that would change the complexion of this match should she have to exit the field. Carolina takes it away. Can't keep it. Oh, back heel to escape some pressure, but bounces right off North Carolina. Now back to the Mountaineers. Pierre-Louis will get forward if she gets the opportunity, but ball got away from her a little bit. Amandine Pierre-Louis, member of the All-Big 12 first team for the Mountaineers. And the player of the Mountaineers calls Z. We'll send this one in. Bridget Andrzejewski gets caught up with a couple of West Virginia defenders. Virginia trying to find some space with Gordon. Now Portillo. Pierre-Louis. Worth tripped up by Buchanan. Well, Saturday on ESPN, we have a doubleheader of hoops for you, starting at 3:30 Eastern with Stanford and Kansas, then at 5:30, Gonzaga and Arizona, and a Journey to the Tourney game presented by Sonic. Both those games streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Castleberry will not be able to get to that ball. Well, too strong from Ashley.
One thing West Virginia just did very well on that last buildup is UNC, when they commit players, they press and they compress and they slide everyone over, and that weak side of the field is open if you can switch it fast. Pierre-Louis getting some play on that left side. Here she is again.
And the far side is wide open if Pierre-Louis can get there, but she's going to just keep going right down the middle. Nobody's stopping the ball, and Pierre-Louis takes a shot.
And how about that? No one from North Carolina even stepping the ball. Everyone retreating. It was like the Red Sea parted, and she just kept going. And what a nice little run here. Beats a few players, and then look at this. They're retreating. Eventually, someone has got to step. I think she could even have gotten another couple yards in and then slotted it, because no one looked to even be stepping for North Carolina. And that's a good sign for West Virginia when they can get those outside backs involved, because what that does to Carolina is it pushes their outside midfielders back. And instead of playing that 3-4-3 aggressively for Carolina, they end up having to defend so much. They're putting 5 on that back line.
This is Lawrence to Abam. Kingman was there to break things up for North Carolina. Cameron Castleberry, senior out of Raleigh, will earn a throw-in for the Tar Heels. Castleberry, a 3-year starter for North Carolina. A Tar Heel chant going on in the stands here in San Jose. Gardner to Worth. Nobody running for her off that header. Lawrence releases up to Portillo. This is Shania Gordon, one of the most dangerous players in the attack for West Virginia. Nice move there by Gordon to get it across. A Bam missing it. West Virginia still on it. Kaliohi, her shot not on target. Good little flurry there from the Mountaineers.
And Shania Gordon facing up like this again is exactly what West Virginia wants. Kaliohi, good pressure from the forward to recover it quickly. But that's a tough situation for North Carolina in that 3-back if they've got that speed coming at them. Gordon is so fast, so unpredictable. Nikki Izzo-Brown, the coach for West Virginia, telling us yesterday, our most dangerous offensive player.
That's certainly saying something when you've got a Bam up there who's led this team in goal scoring the past 3 seasons. Certainly a threat as well. Ashley Lawrence coming out of the midfield. And we have our first substitution of the match. We mentioned Maddie Schultz and the season she's been having, especially here lately.
Maddie Schultz, as we said in the open, 5 game-winning goals in the last 8 games. And this is a freshman who comes on as a sub, who gets limited minutes and didn't score her first goal until the regular season finale against Florida State, which was a game winner there. It was her first.
Well, sometimes that goal scoring thing can be contagious. You get one, you find a way to get a few more.
Absolutely. Directly linked to confidence, and she talked about that yesterday with us.
Mountaineers looking confident here. Gordon needs some help on the far side. North Carolina looking to go right down the heart of the defense. Foster slips. Recovered just in time.
It's about the 4th or 5th player we've seen on this turf. It's coming up a little bit. It looks slick.
Lawrence trying to feed Kaliohi. Maggie Bill, the 2-sport star for the Tar Heels, is there defensively. Bill also a member of the North Carolina lacrosse team.
That just happened to win a national championship this year.
Yeah, no, she technically redshirted the 2016 season, but she was there last year when they were NCAA runners-up and was a valuable member of that Tar Heel team. That's Schultz, really the lone attacking player at the moment for the Tar Heels as they were trying to counter. She's running on the ball now. That's Jeremiah Keith trying to get it away from her. North Carolina throw here. Gardner battling the sun a little bit in her eyes. But you mentioned it earlier, Julie, what a beautiful day for soccer. Couldn't ask for much better than what we've got here in San Jose.
Almost makes me want to play again, Jen.
Almost?
Almost. Takes a lot nowadays.
Well, I'm sure it was reminiscent of some of the former teams you've been on too. We had such a good time speaking with all 4 teams yesterday, and just the camaraderie amongst all 4 of the teams here really stood out. You know, you talk about that intangible. All 4 of these teams really seem to have it in terms of chemistry. One of those teams, Georgetown, their head coach Dave Nolan joining us now. Coach, how's your team feeling as you get ready for your first ever College Cup appearance?
I think they're excited. I think they're ready to play now. It's been a long couple of days, and now it's just get on the field and play.
What's the biggest key today against University of Southern California, Coach?
I think the biggest key will be whichever team settles into a rhythm as quickly as possible. I think the most important thing for us is just to kind of try and get control of the ball and own possession of the ball and make them chase us a little bit.
All right, Coach. Well, we look forward to seeing your team. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
West Virginia taking over in the middle of the field here. Kaliohi too much, perhaps. The speed of Gordon might save her. Can't quite get it there. Second semifinal coming up later tonight, 7:30 Eastern, right here on ESPNU, presented by Northwestern Mutual. Rachel Corbeau's, Morgan Andrews, two Herman Trophy semifinalists, Player of the Year candidates for their respective teams. Here's Lawrence working through a lot of traffic. Gordon wisely getting some width. North Carolina with a chance to counter, but it is really Schultz and Schultz alone at the moment. Nobody else in a North Carolina jersey. How far can she go? Schultz still going toward the goal. She is still on the ball. Maya Keith went down to the ground, now recovers, and West Virginia will take over. But Julie, you've got to kind of wonder, where's the rest of the North Carolina attack?
Maddie Schultz all alone there. You're seeing this game open way up.
Now what do you think about this? So McFarland was down for a while here, but that was a pretty clear-cut attacking opportunity for West Virginia.
Well, and it should have been stopped a long time ago,
Earlier.
to your point. She goes down early. It's like she caught her foot in that turf. She goes down early, and the referee doesn't see it. But this is one of the areas when West Virginia gets attacking, they send those outside backs forward, they get aggressive, and where UNC can counter, you saw there's gaps all over the place. That back line gets pulled apart. Maddie Schultz successfully getting down that wing, but she doesn't have any numbers with her.
Darcy McFarland, a captain, senior, the Tar Heel players whose family happy the College Cup moved out here to San Jose as she's a native Californian. And she'll come to the side as freshman Morgan Goff will replace her at the moment.
Yes, 7 years of traveling east for her parents, because Kelly McFarland, her sister, played at UNC as well. I think they were quite pleased about the change in venue for this College Cup.
They didn't need to rack up any more frequent flyer miles for this one.
They're just up in Mill Valley.
Look how far back our referee Karen App's going to give the ball here to West Virginia. Buchanan, the four-time Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, four-time All-American, just named first team for the second straight year.
She's won all the accolades, hasn't she, Buchanan? ESPNW Player of the Year.
Lawrence trying to turn. Neither team with a corner kick yet. We've had each team with a really good free kick opportunity. North Carolina bringing in Dorian Bailey, sophomore out of Mission, Kansas, for Annie Kingman there in the middle of the field. Bill had Portillo waiting for her. Buchanan heads it right down to the feet of Bailey. Castleberry, nice ball, Schultz got her way to it. And then offside call, flag came up against the Tar Heels. Well, we ask you to help us beat cancer. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefiting the V Foundation for Cancer Research, all part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research. About 20 minutes left to play in this first half between top-ranked West Virginia and number 6 North Carolina. Tar Heels a 2 seed in the tournament. West Virginia the only 1 seed remaining. That ball is going to dribble to the redshirt senior Lindsey Harris, who's had a record-setting year in goal for the Tar Heels. 91 saves on the season. That's a North Carolina single-season record.
Tremendous. And saved every penalty kick that's come out of. Teams are 0-4 going PKs on Lindsey Harris, and what a big save in the quarterfinal against South Carolina.
The NCAA Women's College Cup is presented by Northwestern Mutual. We help you live life differently. Vanessa Flores enters the game for West Virginia. And you mentioned the Canadian U20 Women's World Cup players for the Mountaineers. Flores, a member of Mexico's U20 national team, and that team went all the way to the quarterfinals. They went a little farther before losing a heartbreaker to the United States.
Yeah, leading, in fact, against the U.S. until I think it was the final 10 minutes.
Careful, 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 careful.
North Carolina has not given up a goal in this NCAA tournament. West Virginia has given up just 1. There's a long service. It's a pretty ball in the middle. Buchanan somehow gets to it. A Bam calling for it. She's going to crisscross her run with Gordon. Will drive a little more central. Now out to a Bam. Mountaineers' leading scorer, Gardner, is right there defensively. Doesn't even flinch when that ball smacks her. Schultz has Worth.
So much pace and athleticism for West Virginia. I mean, Bam, there's such strength to her offensively and defensively. And then when you have a player like Gordon on that right flank with such speed, I'd be telling her never to pass. just run, get to that inline, get behind.
See what you can do with a corner kick, right? Neither team has been able to earn one of those yet. A couple more substitutions. Hannah Abraham coming on for West Virginia. Sarah Ashley Furstenberg for the Tar Heels. Another goal kick coming for West Virginia. This is the first game of this NCAA tournament that the Mountaineers have played away from Morgantown. Fabulous atmosphere they have there. The Mountaineer fans certainly realizing they've got something special with this team that Nikki Izzo Brown has put forth this season. North Carolina was at home until the quarterfinal when they went to Columbia, South Carolina to take down top seed South Carolina Gamecocks. Grace Cutler, sophomore out of Colorado, coming on to give a Bam a break here with just under 16 minutes remaining in the first half. Alex Kimball has also come on, the 5th substitution of the match for the Tar Heels. And Anson Dorrance not done yet. Talented young player in Zoe Rade making her way onto the field. This is a player, Julie, who was really key for this North Carolina team early in the season.
Scored goals early for them and another freshman. As we've been talking about, Maddie Schultz, Rade was their goal scorer early. Andrew Jeske has been kind of the middle of the season, another freshman. Rade suffered an injury and has been fighting to come back from that. Put her out about a month. Put a ligament in her foot, Anson talked about yesterday, that just kept nagging.
But you mentioned those 3 freshmen. He knew he'd have to have his freshmen come in and contribute early. They lost a ton of players from last year's team, 5 starters to graduation. He has 2 players who are members of the United States U20 World Cup team, and those U.S. players had to redshirt their college seasons this year. Jesse Scarpa, Taylor Otto, and another player, Emily Fox, who will be coming in to join the Tar Heels as well.
Quick play!
Yeah, a lot of changes. Then the injuries on top of that. And this is a year, he said, that has been like no other in terms of the resilience of this team. We started out, he said, it was a tough start to the season. He said, I'm just so incredibly proud. I've never been more proud of a team making it to the College Cup, because of all teams, this is probably, in terms of talent, the least talented on paper, but the most impressive, he thinks, in terms of just a will to get here.
Most impressive, and he told us most improved, that they've found a way throughout the season to go from, what was the word he used, abominable early on, to pretty good now. Here they are, one of 4 teams left standing. Runners-up in the ACC tournament were the Tar Heels, losing out on penalty kicks in the final to Florida State. Now North Carolina and Rade, when they get a little offense going, Kimball won't be able to get there. Well, tonight after the Rockets and the Nuggets at SportsCenter at night with John Anderson and Neil Everett on ESPN. They'll have a full breakdown of Tigers' second round at the Hero World Challenge, all the NBA, NHL, college basketball highlights, NFL news, and everything else from a fully packed Friday. Of course, that's also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
That's it, V!
Gordon will try to pop this ball out to Abraham. Deep throw coming for the Mountaineers. Ashley there defensively. You wonder if either of these teams will find a way, a moment here before that first half whistle blows. Virginia and Magaletta came away with it momentarily, and then Schultz just gives it right back to Maya Keith. Buchanan looking for Foster to come and get this, and she does. Now, you and I have said this a couple of times. It is hard to believe Riley Foster, just a freshman, the season she's had, #1 in the NCAA in terms of goals against average, and then to do what she did, to go to the U20 Women's World Cup, and her team, meanwhile, she's just hoping they continue on in the NCAA tournament. They do. She jumps right back in there in goal in the quarterfinals and came up big, had 5 saves against the Duke Blue Devils in the quarters.
And what a quick turnaround to shift your focus like that.
And she just kind of seemed like, no big deal, it's good. Gordon, who's moved more central here with some of the substitutions. Trip in the box, or at least a player down claiming she was tripped for West Virginia. Meanwhile, play goes on for North Carolina. Flores, dangerously passed ball, but it winds up at the feet of Bianca St. George. Nothing coming easy for either of these teams, as you would expect.
Gordon has moved over to that left side as well with the switches and substitutions. Having some success on that right side early on too.
Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the Women's College Cup final. That's Sunday, December 4th at 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Women's College Cup, log on to ncaa.com, the official home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Looking at 6 substitutions already for North Carolina, 3 for West Virginia. And this will be interesting because maybe not in this half, of course, Jen, but one of the things that North Carolina is famous for doing is wearing teams down with those fresh legs. And boy, does that make a difference come 75th minute of a game.
Maya Keith has to work to get rid of it before Rade takes it away. That's a great point, Julie. You wonder how the Mountaineers will continue to handle the pressure of the Tar Heels. Scoreless first half. No real dangerous offensive opportunities for either team. Can't say we're totally surprised to see a defensive battle so far though, right? Take a look at some of our headlines from the NCAA Women's College Cup. West Virginia, as I mentioned, the only #1 seed to get here to San Jose, making the first ever appearance for any Big 12 team in the College Cup. Then, interestingly, no teams from last year's College Cup getting back. And 4 Herman Trophy semifinalists you'll get to see in action, including 2 on the field here for the Mountaineers in Lawrence and Buchanan.
And I think that's a good sign, actually, that you have 4 different teams this year, because it shows you the parity is changing. I mean, in years past, as we've talked about, it was Carolina, it was Florida State, Stanford, UCLA, Virginia, you know, always the teams you're used to seeing. And so mixing it up a little bit is probably a good thing.
2 first-time College Cup participants here in West Virginia and Georgetown. Heard from the Hoyas head coach Dave Nolan just a few moments ago. Lawrence was fouled, and now it'll be a free kick for the Mountaineers. They'll just play it back, let Foster distribute. Schultz to turn. It's Furstenberg. Gardner. Not what she was anticipating. There's Gordon, as you mentioned, kind of switch sides on the field. Buchanan, so often placing herself in just the right spot defensively. Furstenberg. Rade can't hang on to it.
I mean, you can see in this first half, it's just a battle, and that's how these 2 teams play. The one that's gonna get something out of this is possibly on a set piece, because you can see there's just not a lot of space or cohesion going on offensively.
Abraham won't be able to catch up to that ball. Take a look at our ESPNW stories this week. We mentioned Kadisha Buchanan, one of her many accolades, the ESPNW National Player of the Year. We've got all the Women's College Cup updates, plus NCAA first round action. Plenty to keep up with this time of year. Lawrence. Ball centered for the Mountaineers. A chance as Cutler was there but couldn't get around the North Carolina defense.
And it's just that final third for West Virginia. Did a little bit better there to actually slow the pace of the game, because that's what Carolina gets you into, this frenzy. And then you don't calm it and keep it and hold the ball.
Abraham had that ball maybe not go off her foot the way she wanted. What about North Carolina? What do you think they take out of this first half so far as they bring in Rue Mucherera, sophomore out of Florida?
They've got to figure out a way to get more numbers forward. They've been spending a lot of time defending, a lot of time fighting. Can they get some numbers in the box, some balls flighted in the box? I mean, make no mistake, this is not a team that's going to possess the ball going around, and Anson doesn't pretend that they try and do that.
Mucherera maybe not realizing or hoping she didn't hear that whistle right away. The referee saying the ball had gone out of bounds. Coming up at halftime, we will have a preview of our second semifinal between Georgetown and USC. We'll have highlights from our first half and get Julie's first half breakdown on this defensive matchup so far between the Tar Heels and the Mountaineers. Three and a half minutes remaining in half number one. Amadine Pierre-Louis will earn a throw-in for her team. This is Flores.
I think if you're Nikki Brown in the halftime locker room for West Virginia, you're talking about tempering that fiery, fast pace with some composure and holding the ball, and then also that final service. They've had some chances where Gordon has gotten in line, a Bam has gotten in line, and then that ball is just a little bit off.
Yeah, to your earlier point, as a contrast, West Virginia has had numbers in their attack when they've gotten there, and North Carolina on the other end has really been more of one player all alone when they've gotten the ball offensively. So they have options if they can get that service. Chance still here for the Mountaineers. Gardner gets a deflection on that clearance, so it'll be a North Carolina throw. Boy, you know what Mucherera wants her teammates to do. Day trips, so she has no chance to get to the ball, and that'll be a goal kick for West Virginia. Look at Esther Maya Keith, sophomore out of Quebec City, Quebec. Nikki Brown saying she really started looking in Toronto in terms of Canadian connection, now moved into Quebec as well. Had a lot of success, obviously. Abraham loses it. That connection just a little off as North Carolina tries to switch gears into the attack. Final minute on the clock here at Avaya Stadium in San Jose. First semifinal of the evening. Verde trying to get to it. St. George making that difficult. Tar Heels will push some numbers forward here for this throw-in. About 30 seconds left. See what they can get before the break. Throw bounced in the area. Sent back in. Gordon can go if she can get around this first line of defense. She'd have a lot of green grass in front of her. Instead, she'll hold it up.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So no score in our first half from San Jose between North Carolina and West Virginia. And get a chance to hear from North Carolina head coach Anson Dorrance here momentarily. Be interesting to get his thoughts, Julie, on the first half. As you said, he's been so proud of what this team has done all season, the fight they've shown to get here and to improve. It's certainly been a battle so far.
It sure has. A lot of athletic, hard tackles in there that whole half. Both teams are going to be thinking, okay, now how can we get a hold of this game? Because that was back and forth. It starts to open up towards the end of that first half. You saw a little bit more space. And really the best opportunities that North Carolina had early on were when they picked the ball from Buchanan.
Yeah,
when she was playing with the ball in the back. You didn't see much of that towards the end of that first half, but having some success with those front three for sure.
Anson Dorrance in deep conversation with his coaches, so we'll hold off on that interview for a moment. We will have more coming up after the break, including a preview of semifinal number 2. You're watching the 2016 NCAA Women's College Cup presented by Northwestern Mutual, part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN. And we're now joined by West Virginia head coach Nikki Izzo-Brown. Coach, what did you talk to your team about there at halftime?
Yeah, we just needed to get one more pass. I thought we needed to break their Carolina pressure and then, find that weak side pass and then get the next one and just be a little bit more sophisticated in the box and, create that chance that we need.
What are the adjustments, Coach, for the second half specifically?
We really want to find Allie a little bit more in that pocket and making sure that we can find that pocket and then change that point of attack as quickly as we can.
Coach, thank you so much. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
And the Mountaineers, Julie, start the second half on the attack.
And they started the same way in that first half. Gordon getting the ball out wide. They're having success when Shania Gordon, number 99 for West Virginia, is on the ball.
Great to hear from both coaches, and of course this is all part of it as you go through a season. Those in-game adjustments, can your team make them? We'll see how both teams respond. North Carolina looking for its first shot of the match. Buchanan handles it in front of the goal. 0 shots in the first half for North Carolina, just the second time all season that's happened.
Here's the thing about Carolina, though, even with 0 shots, just as you saw there, if they can keep this close, they're always in it. And they're fighters, as we've talked about. They're scrappy. They're going to pick up second balls in the box. They're going to get set pieces. You just never know against them. And that's why West Virginia just has to get a hold of this game.
West Virginia with 3 shots in the first half. Last line, 7 substitutions for North Carolina. Anson Dorrance talked about the depth on this team and saying they're going to need it with their senior McFarland out. That rebound fortuitously fell to the feet of Castleberry. And now here we go. First corner kick of the match coming for North Carolina.
Maya Keith, actually, number 16, did very well to pick that ball up because that Buchanan clear, as you said, Jen, fell right to Castleberry's feet.
Neither team with a corner kick opportunity in the first half. Julie, you said the game could come down to chances like these. Right ahead of the 6, it was headed back toward the goal by North Carolina. A dangerous touch, but the Mountaineers will get away with it. St. George recovers, but now she's hurt and is down. North Carolina on the takeaway. St. George, one of the key defenders in this West Virginia back line, still on the ground. And now North Carolina playing it out of bounds. Oh, well, you hate to see St. George clearly in some pain. I'll take another look at the play. This was the corner kick chance. And there is St. George on the ball.
And you see her ankle right there. You just knew it too with the way she screamed. That boom mic picked up everything there.
And St. George, one of those players you talked about that's been busy here recently. She just came back from Papua New Guinea, and her time with the Canadian U20 national team returned to the West Virginia starting lineup in the quarterfinals against Duke after having missed the previous 7 matches. St. George clearly a big part of what this West Virginia team has accomplished this season. A school record 22 wins, and back in Morgantown, the team getting a send-off at the basketball game.
Every day I'm so proud
of the challenge with our resilience, and that just speaks volumes.
I'll say it again, we're not done.
Nikki Izzo Brown addressing the crowd. And you hate to see that. St. George having to be carried off the field. And the Mountaineers most certainly going to have to make a change here.
And if there is any silver lining in this for West Virginia, it's the fact that St. George was away and they had to make those adjustments through this entire postseason. So
Substitution for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
they've been doing this for the last few games while St. George was away in Papua New Guinea. We'll see if Ashley Lawrence maybe goes. It looks like she might be moving back into that right back position. Lawrence, with the Canadian national team as well, has played both outside back and outside mid.
And she did drop into that back line a couple of times as needed this season, has kind of done whatever her team has asked of her as Flores came on in the midfield. And there is Lawrence taking the ball away. Trying to get it up to Gordon.
Take your time. Good stuff, girl.
A Bam, leading scorer for the Mountaineers, loses it. Worth back in the match for the Tar Heels. The way these North Carolina players sub, I thought Maddie Schultz, the super sub, said it very well when we were talking to her yesterday. She said she just focused on trying to make her moments meaningful, make them mean something when she was on the field.
There really is quite a battle for minutes with how many talented players they have. They become very precious.
Be smart, you ladies.
Buchanan showing some savvy back there defensively, holding off the ACC Freshman of the Year, Bridget Andrzejewski. Saturday on ESPN, it's a doubleheader of hoops for you, starting at 3:30 Eastern with Stanford and Kansas. Then at 5:30, Gonzaga and Arizona, and a Journey to the Tourney game presented by Sonic. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
Hey, help me drop.
You know, and you wonder how Lawrence dropping into the back line could affect this West Virginia attack. She's certainly one of their key components offensively.
Yeah, you saw they brought Flores into the middle to cover for her. But Lawrence, All-American, first team, all Big 12. I mean, she is an offensive threat that's going to be hard to replace.
10 assists on the season for Lawrence. But now the second corner kick coming for the Tar Heels. Right along the mouth of the goal. And actually out of bounds. Kadisha Buchanan, as we said earlier, really the heart of this West Virginia team. Conference Player of the Year 4 times, a 4-time All-American, Herman Trophy finalist a year ago. You would certainly expect she would be one of those finalists announced next week, this season as well. Already the ESPNW National Player of the Year. Portillo works it out to Pierre-Louis. Broken up by the Tar Heels in Castleberry. And it's interesting now, Julie, both teams down a starter as Darcy McFarland, we heard Anson Dorrance tell us, will not return to this match. Senior captain in the midfield out for the Tar Heels, and St. George carried off one of the keys in the back line for West Virginia.
Yeah, and the adjustments and the pieces you have to shuffle for it. And McFarland, you know, really a leader on that team as well. Captain.
McFarland, 23 starts on the season. Come the Mountaineers. Nice move to keep some possession. Shot, but it is high. And so coming up in our second semifinal, it is Georgetown and USC. Check out how the Trojans get ready to go. That's fantastic.
They really need to loosen up, those Trojans. I love that. That's my kind of team right there.
It's such a fine balance, isn't it? You've got the intensity, the focus that you have to have when you get to the postseason, but how important is it to have that balance and to be able to be loose and have some fun?
We were laughing with Nikki Izzo Brown, the West Virginia coach, because her team had so much spunk as well, and they were funny. And I said, "You have got some characters." And she rolls her eyes. She goes, "Oh, don't even start." She goes, "I have had to balance that. They're wild in a good way, but there's such joy to what they do, and it is so important."
North Carolina on the attack. They've done this more so far in the second half with numbers than we saw consistently in the first half. Anson Dorrance's message, hold on to the ball a little more. Tar Heels have done a better job of that, although they turn it away there. Portillo. Caliohi. Can she get there? Not quite.
West Virginia having a little bit of success finding Caliohi, though, on the weak side. That's the second time they've tried to spring that ball, break the pressure with that pass, as you heard Nikki Izzo Brown saying in her comments right at the start of the second half. But it's that final third again. It's that last piece of the puzzle that has to come together for them.
Mountaineers have had to endure a little more stress on the road to the College Cup, and they're going to have to defend once again here. Schultz in the match for North Carolina, the super sub with 5 game-winning goals, all in the last 8 matches. Nice move by Portillo, showing some good technical skill. Abam was calling for it, quite enough on that ball, but a Bam fights her way to get it back. Gordon will take a touch and a shot, but wide.
And look at the power of a Bam, fighting to get that ball back, wins that tackle, has the vision to look up and find Gordon. And I think Gordon can take her, take another touch, beat her, get in that box. When you've got speed like that, you should be looking to get in behind every single player. What I would give for that.
Gordon had a big goal already in this NCAA tournament, had a goal in the 1-1 draw against UCLA in the third round. That one wound up going to penalties and West Virginia advanced. Abby Alinsky coming in for North Carolina, really one of the great stories for the Tar Heels this season. One of the fighters for Anson Dorrance, and has had to go through some adversity, but really found her way back to this team. That ball out of bounds, and just to follow up on Alinsky, she lost her brother tragically in a car accident earlier this season, and Anson Dorrance said he decided to take the whole team up there on a bus. They all attended the funeral, and he said to her father, just let me have her back. Let me get her back with the team. And Abby talked to us yesterday just about how meaningful that was, how much it meant to her to get back with her teammates and try to carry on.
And not wanting her back for the purpose of playing, but just in terms of being with family, and teammates are family. It's like your sisterhood. And being back and helping her grieve with her friends around her, which the father agreed was so important.
Alinsky there defensively to take the ball away. Lawrence cannot get past two Tar Heel defenders. Now here comes North Carolina, and Buckingham goes down.
And that's a spark that we haven't seen much in the first half. Buckingham, we've heard about all season, and she can make those runs on the flank, getting her the ball, getting her wide early. Credit West Virginia, they've been attacking down those flanks, and Buckingham has had to play more defense than she probably would like to.
There is Abby Alinsky, junior out of Rocky River, Ohio.
Anson went on to say that with Abby's brother's death and the team coming together like that, it was really a turning point for their season. He said suddenly teams we were losing to or tying too early, we were beating. He said it was such a pivotal moment in terms of just bringing the team together and giving them needed perspective about what matters.
And as tough as he can be on his players, I think any of them would tell you, I think moments like that also really important. He was telling us just to say that, look, we're also going to take care of you. Kaliohi gets it to Gordon. She cuts it back central, now back to the outside. Shania Gordon. Flores. Buchanan gets pressured by Worth and turns it over. Maybe a little too long on the ball there for the All-American. There's Buckingham. You said we haven't really felt her impact yet. Let's see what she does here. Back to Buckingham. All-ACC second team selection this year as a junior. As Ashley Lawrence right up on her back, and Lawrence a little frustrated. Buckingham assisted on both of the Tar Heels goals in their second round win over Kansas. Has 3 assists overall in this NCAA tournament so far. Gardner. Just outside the 18. A Bam was back there to win it for West Virginia. Working with Pierre-Louis, pressured and taken away. Here comes North Carolina again into the area, and Maya Keith steps in just at the last moment.
You're starting to see the outside midfielders coming alive, though, for North Carolina. Castleberry and Buckingham on both sides.
Getting to play a little more offense this half than we saw in the first half. As you said, they've been forced to drop back into that defensive shape a little more than they probably would have liked. Pierre-Louis gets stuck out there, turns it over. This is Andrew Jeske. Our second semifinal of the evening will feature the Georgetown Hoyas making their way to the College Cup for the first time in school history. They'll be taking on number 7 USC. That match coming up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern right here on ESPNU, presented by Northwestern Mutual. Hoyas having a heck of a season. Big East champs for the first time in school history. USC, just the 3rd year under head coach Kadani McAlpine. Here they are back in the College Cup for the first time since 2007. And they won their first NCAA title. So a lot to look forward to in our second semifinal as well. Meanwhile, the subs keep on coming, as you would expect for North Carolina, part of their MO.
Substitutions for North Carolina.
Zoe Raday
Now entering the bench, number 14.
coming back in alongside Morgan Goff.
And Kingman. And also entering number 15, Zoe Raday, for number 5, Maya Worth.
Those back four for West Virginia haven't changed, except for Ashley Lawrence coming in, of course, for the injured St. George. But Pierre-Louis on that left back position. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Andrew Jeske right now on that right side, but getting some play, as we talked about, from those outside midfielders. She's looking a little bit fatigued, and that's where Carolina has so much success. They run you down, wear you down.
And you're right, Pierre-Louis has been doing a lot of running over on that far side. North Carolina getting the shot off. Buchanan getting her head to it. A Bam with a quick touch to get around the defense. What a move by Michaela A Bam. She'll try the early shot, but it just winds up being an easy save for Harris. Love the first move, though.
And A Bam with that pace. Nice little touch there to get in. And A Bam is known to shoot from anywhere, but when you have a goalkeeper like Lindsay Harris in goal, it's just not going to work from that distance. Too good a goalkeeper, too experienced.
Kaliohi now. Trying to get around Maggie Bill. Lawrence taking the shot, headed by A Bam, but off target. Michaela A Bam has been at the forefront of this West Virginia attack for the past 3 years. Big 12 co-offensive player of the year this season. Had a dramatic game-winning goal in double overtime in the second round of the NCAA tournament to knock off Ohio State. Buchanan to Pierre-Louis. North Carolina trying to get another substitute into the match. Sarah Ashley Furstenberg, senior out of Irving, Texas, will come in for Andrew Jeske. Andrew Jeske was so key for the Tar Heels throughout the ACC regular season, part of the reason she was named the ACC Freshman of the Year, but has really kind of quieted down the stretch.
And then you had your other freshman pickup in Maddie Schultz. It's been a different player throughout the different phases of a season, as all of the best seem to find someone that will step up. Be interesting to see who it is today for either team.
Alinsky sizing up her options, elects to go back to Gardner, the senior captain. Looking over the top for Raday. Raday had Furstenberg in the vicinity of that ball.
And there it is again. See, North Carolina losing the ball, Furstenberg tracking it down. They get the throw in. It's all the little things that they fight for.
You like their adjustments so far in the second half?
Well, and it's not so much it's going to be a pretty game, of course, for North Carolina. Anson says it. He says it out loud. It's not going to be pretty. He says, we tried to play pretty in the beginning of the season. That didn't work. I got the bunnies off the field and put the fighters back in, was his words. And yet and that's why you see they've won 21 national titles, because they just never stop.
Raday with the turn and the shot this time, but it's high. And we are now pleased to be joined by USC head coach Kidani McAlpine. Coach, how are you feeling as your team gets set here for your semifinal match?
Just ready to go, that's all. Ready to get the game going.
What are some of the things you're going to talk about with the gals before the game, Coach?
Managing emotion, staying together, being unified, playing simply, and let the game come as we get into it, because that first 15, 20 minutes, they're all going to be huffing and puffing, trying to get some composure.
Coach, what do you like about the way your team has played and what they've done to get to this point?
I think our versatility, I think we've got lots of weapons, and more than anything else, I think down the stretch we found our unity again. We found our joy and love for the game.
Coach, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing your team.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Kidani McAlpine and the USC Trojans will be taking on the Georgetown Hoyas in our second semifinal of the evening. NCAA Women's College Cup as West Virginia goes to its bench. Shania Gordon will get a little bit of a break. Grace Cutler comes in. Alinsky also going out as Schultz coming back in for North Carolina. Remember, you are allowed one re-entry in the second half in college soccer. Get a look at the two goalkeepers who will be manning the nets for the two teams in our second semifinal. Shot by the Mountaineers, just a bit high.
And a better sequence by West Virginia, a little bit more patient. You see there was 3, 4, 5 passes, find it out wide. Callioe's had success on that weak side. But still, every shot for West Virginia happening about 20, 25 yards out. They're known to crank them from distance, but again, against a goalkeeper as good as Lindsey Harris, you're gonna have to get in that box or hit something really special.
Raday has a chance to turn and go here for the Tar Heels. Raday, the freshman that carried this North Carolina team early in the season before her injury. That three back of North Carolina on the run after that long ball got behind them. Both teams going to their benches. Alex Kimball coming on for North Carolina. Ashley Wolpert, senior for the Mountaineers, coming in.
And for North Carolina, bench number 54, Sarah Ashley Furstenberg, replacing number 4, Bridget Andrew Justice.
talking to both teams yesterday, Julie, got a chance to hear their mottos or their rallying cries for this season. For North Carolina, they had a couple of them. One of them, FTG, for the girls.
They said they saw something on social media called FTB for the boys. And like, wait, why do they get a special day? Shouldn't it be every day for us? And they started saying for the girls.
I think they said it was something like, you know, Saturdays, football are for the boys.
Yeah.
They'll take the rest of the days, and Saturdays too. And then this one's really good too. WD greater than WS. Well done, greater than well said.
Yeah, I love that one. A lot of people talking a good game. Can you actually produce?
Now entering the match number 20, Hannah Abraham, replacing number 6, Heather.
Kaliohi will come to the bench as Abraham checks back in for West Virginia. All 4 goals on the season for Abraham are game winners, including a big one against Oklahoma in the Big 12 semifinals. Both teams looking to break this deadlock in our first semifinal matchup from San Jose. Nice turn by Maya Keith. We'll get it back to Buchanan. Furstenberg's gonna come right at the All-American. Pierre-Louis. Nice centering ball, good touch. Mountaineers working something here. The shot is wide. And we talked about North Carolina's motto for the season. West Virginia, this is something that Nikki Izzo-Brown handed out to all of her players. We will 2016.
They had it taped up on mirrors, on doors, foreheads. They even had bracelets made of it. There they are. I don't think they could wear them today. You see some tape wrapped around some of the West Virginia players, probably around those bracelets.
It's so interesting coaching-wise how teams choose to motivate. Mountaineers certainly reaching a lot of their goals and looking for more. This free kick's going to give them basically a short corner, even a little closer than that.
Good call there. Little love touch with an elbow to go with it.
So Abraham, who had just come back into the match for West Virginia, earning that foul, going down.
And just really not a foul you want to give up if you're North Carolina. You don't want to give a set piece right in front of goal with Buchanan, number 88.
Yeah, we haven't seen any corner kicks for the Mountaineers, but this is a set piece that allows Kadisha Buchanan to get up there and get in the mix as a target. Our referee, Karen Apt, is going to try to calm down a little of the pre-kick contact going on in the area. Now the service. Right into the 6, toward the far post. West Virginia trying to get a foot to it. A bam, one touch, to her left foot, and a goal!
And right there it is. The problem with giving up set pieces around your goal mouth, especially when it's not necessary, because it just gives West Virginia a chance. And this one falls to their most prolific goal scorer, who cuts it so well and with really no angle at all. Lindsey Harris has that near post covered. She cheats just a little bit, but there's so much pace on it. What a nice finish by Abam to get it into that upper corner.
She told us she had a special dance. She scored a goal. She did not lie. Got a chance to show it off there with her 12th goal of the season, coming in the 74th minute and putting West Virginia one step closer to its first ever appearance in the national championship game. That was the first goal North Carolina has conceded in this NCAA tournament. Their first 4 matches, all wins via shutout. Can this Tar Heel team fight back? They're having some trouble clearing the ball. It goes back to a Bam, the goal scorer, and Harris snags it out of the air. North Carolina would love to find an answer. Andrew Jeske, the ACC Freshman of the Year, has come back into the match, number 4. She has 9 goals on the season. That last save by Harris.
The Bam whipping it in with some pace. Harris does well because she's facing her own goal by the end of this. Look at that. Not to actually deflect it into the back of her net. A dangerous ball in by a Bam.
The angle not all that different, Julie, from the one she scored on. So Harris making sure she was in charge when that ball came in that time around. There you go. The Tar Heel defense had been stout throughout this NCAA tournament. The West Virginia Mountaineers finding a way to break through. And to your point, all started on a set piece, free kick. Flores, Maya Keith has Worth right on her. Anson Dorrance talked about his team needing to win the fight and then win the game. They're going to have to figure out how to fight back here. Down a goal to West Virginia.
And I would start by going wide, of course. You have Ashley Lawrence at that right back position, but on that left side, Pierre-Louis, she looks fatigued, and you want to stay away from Buchanan and Maya Keith. Those two as center backs are so strong, fast. If you're going to have any success for North Carolina, you come at them wide on that back line.
That's what Andrew Jeske is doing here. She cuts it in now, though, and loses it momentarily. Worth to Andrew Jeske, the shot! What an opportunity for North Carolina. She knows it.
And she also knows you just don't get that many good looks. But you can see Pierre-Louis, she's late to close that down. Andrew Jeske gets in a little seam, which is a nice seam. Hits it well, and that's a hard one when they're coming back at you there to come across. But you gotta try and at least get that on frame.
Shania Gordon has come back in for West Virginia. North Carolina looking to make something happen. Bailey can't do it. There is Gordon on the ball. Gardner takes it away. She wants to get her Tar Heels to that national championship game, one she played in 2012 and won. A lot of contact going on. Lawrence still on the ground for West Virginia, with the ball moving to the other side. Now Lawrence is back up. The ball sent in right to the middle of the field. The chance for Schultz, and it's high! The Golden Girl down the stretch for North Carolina had a golden chance right there.
Even fell onto her favorite left foot, or maybe it didn't. She had to wait for it to come across and didn't want to hit it with her right. Again, success down that right side for North Carolina, fighting for second balls. I think that's what happened. Maddie Schultz let it come across her body to that favored left foot when she should have just cranked it with that right one.
But some really good looks coming here the last couple of minutes for North Carolina. Probably their best of the match. So you know the two freshmen up there, Schultz and Andrew Jeske, still hungry to get a look back, but right now, West Virginia trying to add on another one. Abraham can't get around Bill. A couple of starters will be coming back in for West Virginia. Portillo, Kaliohi, 10.5 minutes remaining. The Mountaineers with a 1-goal lead. Portillo, who just came in, will take a shot. NCAA Women's College Cup is presented by Northwestern Mutual. We help you live life differently.
There we go,
Schultz, will she get another chance here? Has it blocked by Maya Keith, who came flying in.
Maya Keith has been all over that back line, covering, balancing. Canadian is in the shadows a bit of Buchanan, the other center back, but boy, what a game she has had today as well.
And you imagine her game probably benefits from having Buchanan there next to her, learning from her.
I think everyone's game rises when you have a player like Buchanan, and especially because Buchanan is such a student of the game.
Maya Keith heads it, but it lands at the feet of the Tar Heels. The shot is wide by Buckingham.
Buckingham picking up that second ball, just getting herself in a position to pick it up as well. And this is where in these final 8 minutes, North Carolina becomes so dangerous because they vie for that second ball. They get in the position early, they anticipate it, they're gonna send numbers, you know.
Buckingham, as we said before, 3 assists already in this NCAA tournament. Gordon. Good recovery defensively by the Tar Heels. Gardner will track this ball down. Andrzejewski. Now it'll go back to the Tar Heels. Comes out to Schultz. Left-footed ball across. Andrzejewski couldn't get a foot to it. Kaliohi, he got a little bit of rest on the bench, trying to attack that back line of North Carolina.
Maggie Bill, center back for UNC, has been huge, especially when West Virginia tries to send a few numbers on that counter. She just keeps picking them.
Buchanan, not afraid to get forward if the opportunity presents itself. She'll get it out to Gordon. Let her take it the rest of the way. The shot is covered on the near post, but will go out of bounds off the gloves of Harris for a corner kick, the first corner kick of this match for West Virginia.
And look at this game just open up like this. Shania Gordon, what a nice touch that is to get into the box. Not a lot of West Virginia players when you look up in there. Not a lot of yellows.
Replacing number 26, Vanessa Flores.
Abam back in the match. Her goal standing as the difference in this one so far. 12th goal of the season, coming in the 74th minute for Michaela Abam. Now just 6 minutes on the clock.
And this is where West Virginia, with 6 minutes left, needs to be a little bit more patient, hold the ball, make North Carolina chase, get it into the corners. They can keep the ball. We've seen sequences of that.
Portillo's service falls to Abam. Who else? And this is how she put her Mountaineers out in front.
This was on the free kick. She gets it off the backside. And a bam! There it is. Come on, Jen, that was too easy.
I'm glad you got that one in, Julie. You know it was just a matter of time before one of us did it.
There was a player with the USA field hockey team that was Katie Bam. So all Olympics, she was scoring the whole time. We'd be like, guess who scored again? Katie Bam!
It's a name made for scoring.
Bam!
Andrew Jeske not going to get away with that one. Well, Saturday on ABC, it's the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game from Orlando. Number 3 Clemson taking on Virginia Tech with a spot in the college football playoff on the line for the Tigers. Coverage beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC, streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Clemson, the defending ACC champs. North Carolina looking for something here, under 5 minutes to play. Tar Heels have had a few great looks. They get a shot off here, but not on frame. That was Annie Kingman. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the Women's College Cup Finals Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Women's College Cup, you can log on to ncaa.com, the official home for all 90 NCAA championships. So at the moment, the West Virginia Mountaineers looking to extend their stay to Sunday and claim a spot in that national championship game if they can hold on here. North Carolina trying to change that scoreline. Castleberry loses it.
It looks like what Nikki Brown, Izzo Brown did is for West Virginia, she brought a Bam back into midfield in front of Pierre-Louis to help her out a little bit. You're seeing a Bam come back a lot. And especially with Carolina up in numbers with 4 in the midfield, that balances out. So they've switched into that 4-4-2 with the Bam really trying to help Pierre-Louis.
She did her job offensively, now being asked to help out a little defensively. Portillo gets around Gardner, nice touch outside to Cutler. Tar Heels get it up to Worth. That'll be a foul on Lawrence.
She won't mind that call. Gives the chance for West Virginia to reset, get back.
Dorian Bailey. Castleberry, her pass off the mark. Comes Lawrence. She's saying, hey guys, I know we're trying to hang on to the ball, but I still need somebody with me to pass it to. Ends up losing it to Bill. She'll get it back though. Callioe knocked off the ball by Gardner. The West Virginia throw as those seconds tick away. Anson Dorrance has seen his team make it to that final on most occasions that they've gotten to the College Cup, and a yellow for time wasting here on a Bam. Clock now stopped. In 26 previous College Cup appearances for the Tar Heels, they have reached the championship game 24 times, all but 2. West Virginia trying to make that a third miss on the list. quite sure what that whistle was from Kieran Abt.
Lady, you gotta know.
Let's go.
West Virginia will try again.
I'm not really sure, Jen. I can't help you out. I'm not sure what that's about.
I gave you
I'm not going to lie.
I gave you the signature hands up eyebrow raise. Help me out here, partner.
I don't know.
Either way, we're back underway now. The clock did stop again momentarily. Portillo. Worth trying desperately to keep this ball for North Carolina. Gonna have to get away from Lawrence, the Herman Trophy semifinalist. One of two for the Mountaineers along with Buchanan. And you can bet Gordon, savvy enough to know, just go hang out in that corner for a little while, try to waste some time. Tar Heels frustrated, saying they didn't touch the ball, but it's still gonna be West Virginia possession. 1 minute for the Mountaineers to hang on. I think you get a sense of the intensity out there on that field right now. Whoa, need to be careful there, don't you? Riley Foster says no problem, but
that could have easily gone very wrong.
There's a lot of pace put on that ball. Offside flag up against Gordon.
10, 9, 8.
The countdown is on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the West Virginia Mountaineers are going to the national championship.
Semifinal game with the final score: West Virginia 1, North Carolina 0. With today's victory, West Virginia will advance to the NCAAA Division I Women's Soccer Championship
The Mountaineers in their first ever College Cup, just leaving the Tar Heels in tears on the other side. There's that young lady right there.
Wow. Oh my God. We made it to the final. Our first time in history. Shout out Natalie and David, I love you.
I don't even need to introduce her. I'm just going to let Michaela Abam talk as they play Country Roads over the speakers here at Avaya Stadium in San Jose. Well, we heard her talk. Let's see her walk the walk. That game-winning goal, 5th of the season for Michaela Abam.
And it took a special moment from Abam to break this game open. Just that second ball, she takes it, cuts it back, and what a finish that is. Really not much of an angle. She looks up, finds a little pocket there. So much strength and athleticism in that player. What a game she had today. Put the team on her shoulders and said, we're going. We're getting to that final game.
5th game winner of the season for Abam, 12th goal overall for the Big 12 Co-Offensive Player of the Year. Country Roads leading to the championship for the Big 12 champion and #1 ranked West Virginia Mountaineers, who have that spot in Sunday's final. Now await the winner of our second semifinal between Georgetown and Southern Cal. That game coming up on ESPNU at 7:30. And we're now going to make it official and talk to Miss Michaela Abam, our goal scorer, player of the day. Michaela, tell us about the emotions you're feeling right now.
Wow. We're going to the final. Holy cow. Wow. Wow. Coach said unshakable will and iron will, and every single one of us had that today. I'm so proud of this team.
I can't even talk. I don't. Wow.
I don't believe
so
that
proud
about
of
you,
you.
Michaela.
I know, especially since the dance, the whole thing.
Why don't you tell us about that a little bit? We like that little celebration you had.
Well, my parents are Cameroonian, had to pull out a little Roger Miller. So, wow, I'm so proud of this team. I don't even know. I have no words.
Well, we won't make you say any more. We'll just say congratulations, Michaela. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you, thank you.
Maybe you can do a dance for us on your way out. What do you think? We'll have to wait, see if she can do it again. I think she is doing it a little bit down there. As you see Riley Foster, the goalkeeper for the Mountaineers, who posted a clean sheet yet again for this West Virginia team that has been so good all season long, and now they're going to the championship. So for now, we're going to send it to Sports Center U, followed by the WCC semifinal. We'll have Georgetown and USC coming up, presented by Northwestern Mutual.